this is Judy with Primitive Quilts and Projects. In this video, designer Deanna Hodson will demonstrate her method of punching. Deanna is the technical editor for our magazine, and she does a fabulous job. So you can thank her for all the nice, neat, and concise instructions. And in this issue, she has a punch project, and so she's going to demonstrate how to do that. But first, Deanna, tell us about your inspiration for this design.
The design will be called Hanukkah Snowflake, and it's just reminiscent of the miracle that God performed when the people of Israel returned to the temple. There was only one cruse of oil to light the menorah, and they needed 8 days to make additional oil. So God caused that one cruse to last for those 8 days while they were purifying new oil for the menorah. And so that it's called the Festival of Lights in, our English translation of the Bible. But anyway, so, and the snowflake, this particular design has 8 points, where the Hanukkah menorah has 8 candles. And then the servant candle is at the center. And so the points of my snowflake have diamonds, and I'm coloring those yellow to be represent the candles. And then the center of the snowflake I've colored yellow as well as the servant candle. So that's just a fun reminder of God's miracle.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Okay, Deanna, so take it away and show us how to do it.
All right, first I want to show you, I've drawn my design, and you can see I've already done a lot of it in preparation for the magazine, but you can see my outline here. And the design is drawn on the back, or well, with monk cloth, it doesn't matter which side is front or back, but the back, you punch from the back, and then your design will be on the reverse side. In this particular case, the design is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter, how you draw it on here. If you have something that's proportional, or like if I were drawing a dog and I wanted it facing this side, then I would draw it on the back, the reverse, just like reverse applique, where you have to, if you're using fusible web, something like that. So I've drawn this on, and this is my diamond for the snowflake. And then I have 2 tools, okay? One has a longer shaft and one has a short shaft. Okay, in my design, I'm doing the snowflake design with the long shaft, so it has long loops. And then I'm doing the background, which is this dark blue part, with the shorter shaft so that it has shorter loops. And you'll see when I turn it over to the front side, the difference. It causes the design to pop out. All right, I'm going to use the longer one now because I'm working on this, the diamond of the snowflake. And in the tool, there's a little loop, an eye that you start feeding your thread through or your yarn through. And then there's a channel that the yarn will flow through. And then at the end of the punch, there's a hole to poke the yarn back through. And then you pull so that it gets seated well in the channel, okay? So I've got it in the channel, and then I pull it so I only have, say, 1/4 of an inch. I don't need a long end at the end. And then I'll start punching my design. Okay. I'll start here on the line. And I should say, I'm using 3-ply worsted weight wool yarn, okay? It's been hand dyed by a gal. Her name is Colleen Faulkner. She's here in Missouri. Now this is working. And, I just love the vibrant colors and the variegation of colors. So I buy my yarn from her. The punches I have purchased from Amy Oxford, which there's a website called amyoxford.com. And she's got video tutorials that are wonderful, to help with anybody that's starting in this to begin with. One of the reasons I switched to punch needle or rug punch, I guess I should call it, punch needles more with embroidery. The reason I switched is it's so much faster. I like to do things in a hurry, I guess. But it still turns out beautiful, just like, you know, rug hooking. And you can punch with wool strips as well. The fun part about doing it with yarn is that, you know, until you run out of your ball of yarn, you can just keep going to town. You know, you don't have to stop and start and stop and start unless you're changing colors. So I'm going around this outside edge. And then for my design this time, you know, it can be any number of ways. You can meander with your stitches, or you can do like an echo design. And that's what I'll be doing, is just keep going around this same line. Whoops. Until I get to this. Oh, okay. It came loose. And just pull it and start again. There we go. It's very forgiving, which makes it really nice. Okay, so now I would just start going around a second loop. Okay. And then my shaft is right next to the stitch that I've already done. Okay. So there's really, you're not seeing much monk's cloth between, if any. On the front side, you wouldn't see any because the loops spread out. Okay, so I will turn it over so you can see the front side. Okay. So can you see that very well, Judy?
Yes, that's beautiful.
Okay. The loops are high, and it's kind of hard to see from this vantage point. I'll turn to this side. The background loops are not as tall as the loops of my diamond, and it'll show up more when it's all taken out of the hoop and you steam it flat. Okay. When I take it out of the hoop now, it would all curl, but then you steam it with a wet cloth and it'll lay flat and look beautiful. And you'll see the design really pop because of the difference in the loop height. Let's see if there was anything else I wanted to talk about. I guess we did show as an example in the how the difference in how fast it is. You saw how I was able to get around that very quickly. If I were doing rug hooking, I would have my yarn underneath my hoop. I'd be going through the hole. Oops. And pulling up a loop. Okay, I got to judge and get it the right height. And then I go back down next to that, pull up another one. Okay, go down next to that, pull up another one. Okay, for you rug punchers, you know what I'm doing, or rug hookers, I should say. But you can see how long that took in comparison to what I did going down this row. You know, it just takes a lot more time. But it all looks very nice. I have a project that I made punching with wool strips. You can see this. It's a pillow I made. Let's see. And see, it's wool strips. It's size 8 wool strips. So, you know, it goes fast, not only because you're punching, but it's also fast because of the width of the strips in comparison to the width of the yarn. So that makes it even faster. It's a lot of fun, but it also, you know, you're punching a strip and then you have to stop and start. So you're wasting portions of each strip because you have, you know, it can only go so far in the punch hook. You know, I guess you could hook with a regular hook the last few inches, not inches, maybe the last inch of the strip, you know, so it wouldn't be wasted. But anyway, also, I don't know if you noticed on this design, the backside looks really nice also. So you can use the back side as the finished side. I made a little, this was in a previous issue of the magazine. It's a little mug rug. Okay. So that's the loop side, and I crocheted an edge. And then this is the back side, which looks really pretty too. So you've got options. You can do either way. All right, Judy. When you get finished, you'll turn your design over, and you may have a loop that's standing up too tall, or, you know, a loop like is out of place. Say, for example, I don't know if you can see it very well. This white loop is kind of in the blue. So with small point scissors, you can manipulate the loops to make the design more precise. Like here, I've got a blue loop over the top of a white loop, you know, so I just adjust it with my scissors, and then I can get the point of my design more precise. And then if I had things sticking up, you know, maybe the end of a thread or whatever, I can just trim it off, even with the rest of the loops, and it will be fine. I mean, they're all crunched together, so nothing's gonna come apart. So I think that pretty well explains the whole process. It's a lot of fun, and it goes pretty quick, so you get an amazing design pretty quickly.
That is so neat. Can you tell us about that hoop that you're using?
Oh, sure. It's actually, you know, any rug hooking hoop will work. You want to pull your, let's see, I'll pull this off. You want to pull your cloth drum tight, you know, so, all right. And then it has, and it's pretty brutal if you're not careful. It's a kind of a wire mesh, okay, that holds the cloth, and you can stretch it on there and pull. Okay. Well, that wire mesh, that's why I have the pink cloth going over. See right here at the edge, it's pretty prickly, and you can end up with scratches. You want to make sure you don't have any blood on your project, you know. So, but this was one I got from Colleen Faulkner, and she's an artist, and so she painted on the edge.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty fun. So, but you know, you can get them at places of supply, or do anything with rug hooking. You know, any rug hooking supply online would have the frames available, and they come in multiple sizes, you know, for travel, or a large one, or you can even get them where they sit from the floor, just like rug hooking. It's basically the same thing.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. The only thing I can think of is that I showed you or told you I was going to do a crocheted edge. And when I pull the yarn through, you know, I'll be working from the front, okay, to do it's a single crochet. All right. But when I use my crochet hook to go all the way along the edge, so that way it covers up all the monk's cloth at the back. All right. So that way you can use it as reversible. You know, you just are really careful that when you go through with your crochet hook, that you get it right next to those loops on both sides. So otherwise it's really simple if you know how to crochet at all.
Okay. I think most of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Deanna, for this. You did a wonderful job, as always, and your project is gorgeous. So I hope a lot of people make it. And thank you all for your time and interest. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.